For over a decade, Europe was gripped by one of the most intense series of conflicts in history, the Napoleonic Wars. From the fields of Austerlitz to the snows of Russia, this was a clash between revolutionary France and nearly every major European power. Part 1. Seeds of War. The story begins before 1803. In 1789, the French Revolution erupted, toppling the monarchy and shaking Europe's political order. Monarchies feared the spread of revolutionary ideals, sparking the Revolutionary Wars that pitted France against coalitions of European powers. In the chaos rose a young artillery officer, Napoleon Bonaparte. By 1796, he led brilliant campaigns in Italy, defeating Austria. His daring Egyptian expedition against Britain's eastern interests boosted his fame, even though it ended in retreat. In 1799, Napoleon seized power in the coup of 18 Brumaire, becoming first consul. A master strategist and charismatic leader, his ambitions went beyond France's borders. A brief peace came with the Treaty of Amiens in 1802, but tensions with Britain, France's constant rival, soon reignited war in 1803. Part 2. The First Blows. Napoleon prepared to invade Britain, assembling the Armée d'Angleterre along the Channel. Britain responded by strengthening its navy, led by Admiral Horatio Nelson. The Third Coalition formed in 1805. Napoleon, instead of waiting for invasion, struck first, marching his army across Europe in a lightning campaign. On December 2, 1805, Napoleon delivered his most famous victory, the Battle of Austerlitz. Using deception and terrain, he crushed the combined Austrian and Russian armies, forcing Austria to sign the Treaty of Pressburg. But at sea, Britain's dominance was unshaken. On October 21, 1805, at the Battle of Trafalgar, Nelson decisively defeated the French and Spanish fleets, ending Napoleon's hopes of invading Britain forever. Part 3. Dominance on land. In 1806 to 1807, Napoleon crushed Prussia at the Battle of Jena Auerstedt, marching into Berlin. Against Russia, he fought the brutal Battle of Eylau, followed by victory at Friedland, forcing Tsar Alexander I into the Treaty of Tilsit, a high point of Napoleon's power. Napoleon then launched the Continental System, a massive economic blockade designed to strangle Britain's trade. European ports were closed to British goods, but smuggling and economic strain weakened its effectiveness. Part 4. Cracks in the Empire. The cracks appeared in Spain. In 1708, Napoleon deposed the Spanish king, installing his brother Joseph on the throne. But this sparked the Peninsular War, a brutal conflict where Spanish guerrillas, supported by British forces under Arthur Wellesley, bled French forces for years. Meanwhile, Austria rose again in 1809. At the Battle of Wagram, Napoleon won, but at heavy cost. The wars were becoming harder to sustain. Part 5. The Russian Campaign. In 1812, Napoleon made a fateful decision to invade Russia. His grand army, over 600,000 strong, crossed the Niemen River in June. The Russians avoided major battles, retreating and burning supplies. At Borodino, one of history's bloodiest single-day battles, Napoleon won a costly victory but failed to destroy the Russian army. When Napoleon entered Moscow, it was deserted and ablaze. With no supplies and winter setting in, he ordered a retreat. It became a nightmare. Starvation, disease, frostbite, and relentless Russian attacks decimated his forces. Fewer than 100,000 men returned. Part 6. The Fall of the Empire. Sensing weakness, the Sixth Coalition, Britain, Prussia, Russia, Austria, Sweden, united. In 1813, at the Battle of Leipzig, the Battle of Nations, Napoleon suffered a crushing defeat. In 1814, the Allies invaded France. Napoleon abdicated and was exiled to Elba, allowed to rule the small island as a sovereign. But the emperor was not finished. In 1815, he escaped Elba, returning to power in a stunning comeback known as the 100 Days. At Waterloo on June 18, 1815, Napoleon faced the Duke of Wellington and Prussian forces under Blucher. Despite fierce fighting, the French were defeated. Napoleon was exiled again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena, where he died in 1821. Part 7. Legacy. The Napoleonic Wars ended with the Congress of Vienna, redrawing the map of Europe and restoring monarchies. But Napoleon's influence endured. His Napoleonic Code, military tactics, and political reforms shaped modern Europe. Loved by some, hated by others, Napoleon remains one of history's most complex figures, a man who sought to conquer the continent and, for a time, nearly succeeded. Conclusion. The Napoleonic Wars were more than battles. They were a struggle for the soul of Europe, and their echoes still resonate today. If you enjoyed this journey into history, subscribe and join us for more stories of the past that shaped our world. Subscribe for more videos.